Hi, Dean Winters here with Ed Margolis, co-director of Lucky Glider Rescue and Sanctuary. Ed is here to answer a few common questions about housing sugar gliders. So Ed,
hi Dean.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for coming again.
Okay, so first question about housing sugar gliders, what kind of cage should they be in?
Good question. It's a good idea to have them in a cage that's about, I'd say a medium to large size parakeet cage. The bar spacing should be no wider than a half an inch. 3/4 of an inch, some of them can stick their heads through. They can get their head through, they can get the rest of their body through. So the cage can be, 2 feet, deep, 4 feet tall, 3 feet wide, is a good size. A good medium to large size parakeet cage. You want to make sure that the material that's used is a powder coat or stainless type of material. You don't want to use chicken wire. You don't want to use galvanized stuff. But you can use powder coat. You can use plastic coated or stainless materials.
All right. So where is the best place to put the sugar glider cage in your house?
That's a good question. It depends on if you're a light sleeper or not, because some people prefer to have them in their bedroom, but they do bark at night quite often. And if that's a problem or keeping you awake, and there's no other room to put them in, I would recommend not acquiring sugar gliders. Because you're going to want to get rid of them if they bark at night, and they will. They're going to run on the wheel. They're going to run around the cage. So I would say that you want to keep them in a common area where they can hear you during the day and at night. Even though they are nocturnal, they do groom each other and lounge around inside the nesting box or in the pouch during the day, and they can hear what you're doing. And I think it's a comfort for them to hear the daily activities. They don't like really loud sounds, so you don't want to blast the stereo really loud or make any really loud sounds.
Do you cover them at night like birds?
Well, I think you want to partially cover the cage, especially the area where the food is, because they like to fling their food. So covering the cage is a good idea. Also helps to avoid drafts. But routinely, you should cover the cage and leave the front of the cage open so they can see out and things. And of course, the cage is only their home base. That's where you keep them so they can be safe. If you let them out of the cage a lot and give them some freedom, especially if you don't have other animals running around, that's what they like the most. So the cage is where they eat and sleep, but you want them playing outside of the cage as often as you can.
Okay. And what should you provide for them to sleep in, like a nest, like a bird's nest or a box?
Yeah, I mean, we use the common parakeet nesting box that you can get at a pet store for around $10. A little wooden box has a lid and a little hole drilled in the side, and you can put swaths of 4x4 swaths of fleece in there, a whole bunch of them, and they'll make a nest in there, and they love that kind of thing. And you can use a standard glider pouch as well. Gliders also like to have alternate nesting spots, so it's okay to have a nesting box and a pouch or two in the cage so they can switch up where they sleep.
Okay. What kind of playthings, if any, do sugar gliders like, and are there any out there that are less than safe?
Yeah, good question. First and foremost, you should give them a wheel. Gliders get stressed out when they're in the cage a lot. They need to run, they need to exercise. If you give them a wheel, they can at least get plenty of exercise, and they seem to enjoy it. I think the best wheel that you can get is what's called a stealth wheel. They're manufactured in mom and pop. It's a very small company that makes them. They're expensive. They're like $45 or so, but they're completely silent, and the running part of it is a mesh that allows any waste that happens to fall through the cracks. And you also put sandpaper on the outside facing in to keep your nails trimmed. So that's the best kind. You can get them cage mounted or floor mounted. The ones that aren't very good are the ones that have any kind of a crossbar. Any kind of a crossbar arrangement's not good because they can get their foot or their leg stuck in between the crossbar and the piece holding it up. Not good. I would not recommend those. Second best is the silent spinner, which has an open front and all the works are on the back end of it, so they can't get caught up in the works. They're made out of plastic, and they're pretty good and come in various sizes. Other toys are just safe, non-toxic plastic toys are fine. Barrel of monkeys, great toy. They run around with them in their mouths and they take them back to their nest. Parakeet or parrot toys, such as the woven little rattan, chew toys are fine. Popsicle sticks, pieces of balsa wood, little party favors that you get at the party favor store, little plastic figurines are fine. Little willow balls, twigs, things like that are good.
And of course, it's a good idea to provide branches and ladders for them to climb onto.
Yeah.
Stimulate their environment. Okay, what kind of food containers are best for sugar gliders?
That's a great question. We like the open ones because they're easy, to stick their little heads in and eat, like the parakeet type, rounded, semi-round type of arrangement. We feed a lot of ours out of little cat dishes where it's a two-sided dish. We put soup in one side and hard foods on the other, and a separate water dish. We prefer the water dish because they're more predictable than the tubes. The tubes sometimes get clogged or they drain, so there's no water. So what we'll do is we'll put a little shelf. We'll wire up a shelf inside the cage and put fleece on top of the shelf, so have something nice to sit on, and put the water underneath that so that no waste gets in the water. You can also get a little shoe caddy, the kind where it has a little drawer in it to put shoes in, and you can stack up in your closet. You can use a shoe caddy where you pull the drawer out and just have the caddy part, and you can put the food under that, and drape it with a diaper or some other material to keep the flinging down.
Okay, and so if someone wanted to build their own cage, would you recommend this?
No, I wouldn't recommend it. By the time you buy the materials and the fasteners and all the stuff you need to build a cage, you're very close to the cost of, within a couple dollars of the cost of a standard store-bought cage that has the standard spacing and the wires that you need and the little doors and the hinges and everything already done. So no, I would not recommend building your own cage unless you're a real expert at that kind of thing. I would just go get a standard cage. Go to eBay. Go on the internet. There's all kinds of sugar glider cages out there you can get for anywhere from $50 to $300 depending on the size and the quality.
Alright, well, that's it. Thanks
Dean,
for being here. Remember, if you have any questions, you can visit www.luckyglider.org. Stay tuned for more informative interviews with Ed. And remember, please, if you're planning on getting a sugar glider, please adopt from a shelter. Don't buy.
Thanks, Dean.
Thanks.